Rise of Kingdoms needs a reality check, and I'm not just talking about the game, I'm not just talking about the developers, I'm talking about the community itself. So today I have the pleasure of splashing the cold water on your faces, and we're going to talk about piloting and the future of Rise of Kingdoms. Of course, this video is a follow-up and response to yesterday's video, where near the end of the video we talked about the newest mail that landed in game saying that every account in Rise of Kingdoms is now going to be subject to a 16-hour cap for War Frenzy within a 24-hour period, after which you will then have an 8-hour period of rest time. This is downtime where you will not be allowed to enter War Frenzy. And this of course is one of many steps that the developers have been taking in order to reduce the effectiveness or the prevalence of pilots. And to be clear, a majority of you guys that I have seen in my comment section on that video and in the previous video where we talked about piloting, everyone's cool with this, right? And that's for good reason. 95% of the community, if not more, is not even going to know that this change was even implemented. I mean, genuinely, most people will have no idea, just like how most players don't know that there's a help limit, and just like players don't know there's a limit with the number of AP bottles you can get within a given day from doing barb forts. Like, there's all of these big things that people made huge big deals about, some of which I've made big deals about as well, that ultimately are just minor things that no one even notices because it doesn't affect the vast majority of players. So I want to be very clear here that this video is not directed to those of you that saw those videos and was like, oh, okay, 16 hours, that's insane, I never played for 16 hours, whatever, who cares, right? And let me be clear, that is a vast majority of you guys, but there's still a vocal minority of people that are kicking and screaming like you just took an iPad away from a baby. I've seen these people on Discord, YouTube comments, Facebook, pretty much anywhere that a Rise of Kingdoms player can be. There's always this handful of people that are just losing their minds over this. And I think part of the reason for this is because piloting as a problem in Rise of Kingdoms appears to be, on the surface level, a very simple problem to solve, right? It's like if I'm watching the New York Giants play, okay, and their kicker goes up. I don't actually watch football. I could name you a single kicker in the world, okay, but the kicker goes up and he goes to kick a field goal and he misses, right? But you know, 9 times out of 10 they make the field goal. So I'm sitting there, my fat ass is on the couch, and I'm like, damn bro, he couldn't even kick it through the, what the fuck, bro, what? I could have done that. That's easy, right? It looks easy. It looks easy as a casual bystander, but in reality the problem is way more complex than it actually appears to be. And just to be clear, the pilot problem needs to be solved, right? That we are beyond that discussion. This is killing the game. I've said that once, I'll say it again. This is one of the biggest problems that the entire game is facing right now, so we have to solve this problem. So for those of you that are unhappy with this solution, right, this 16-hour War Frenzy cap, you're unhappy with the solution, let me go ahead and sympathize with you for a moment. All right, you're not happy with this solution, but you want to solve the pilot problem. I'm right there with you. Okay, what I propose, here's how they can solve the problem. If you've ever piloted, you're banned. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's too far. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you wanted to solve the pilot problem. Oh, you want to solve it. You don't want to solve it in the way that ROK is solving it, and you don't want to solve it in the real way that would solve it, which is just banning the offenders. Okay, well, that's what other games do, but okay, sure, I'll play ball with you. Okay, let's pretend like that's not a completely legitimate solution. Okay, let's not go down either of those two routes. Let's solve the piloting problem in this way. No more secondary password. Oh, I'm sorry, what's that? Oh, you don't like that solution either? Oh, that's weird. Wait, why not? I thought you were the only one playing your account. Oh, okay, so you say you want to solve piloting, but you don't want to ban people for it, you don't want to remove the secondary password, and you don't like this 16-hour War Frenzy cap. So what are you saying? You're saying you want to solve piloting, but in a way that's convenient for you. Okay, got it. Just say that then, okay? People are even saying like, oh, this is it. This is what's finally gonna kill Rise of Kingdoms, right? And this is one of the things where it's like, I think it's so hilarious that the knee-jerk reaction from the small part of the community that dislikes this change, right, is just saying, oh, 16 hours isn't enough. It's like, well, hang on, to who? Let's use a little bit of logic here, okay? Rise of Kingdoms is a multi-million-dollar game that has been financially successful and thriving for 7 years. That's really hard. I don't know if you guys noticed this, okay, but throughout the lockdown and even periods afterwards, the gaming industry has changed tremendously, and we're actually going to talk about that later in the video. But to keep a game successful and making tens of millions of dollars, you've got to be doing something right. okay? And because the game is 7 years old, let's think about this for a little bit. All right, we've got 7 years worth of player data. Do you really think that Rise of Kingdoms didn't look at that data for a second? You don't think they consulted that data extensively to arrive at the 16-hour number? Like, what are we talking about? They have a multi-million-dollar incentive to get this right, and you think they just randomly picked 16 hours, like as if this is a completely uneducated guess, right? Like, no, the truth is that they have a financial incentive to make sure that you play as much as possible while simultaneously solving the pilot problem. 16 hours is what they landed on as a result of that. Okay, well, what about pass openings? What about Kingsland? Now we're not going to be able to, we're gonna have to manage our rally leaders. Like, that's so bad for our kingdom. Like, we're gonna have to try to figure out like who's gonna rally, right? Oh, well, actually, great news, your enemy, you know, the people that you're fighting up against, they also have the 16-hour limit. So in fact, it's actually an even playing field across everybody in the entire game. But once again, let me play ball. All right, let me play ball. Let's do this the right way. All right, a couple of suggestions that I've seen that people say are better than this are, first of all, device ID. Right? People are saying, well, okay, why don't you just solve the pilot problem by making sure that you can only log into your account from 1, 2, or 3 devices at any given time, right? And then, okay, fair enough. Now somebody else across the world can't log into your account. And I agree with you. That would be a fantastic solution, right? But let's not pretend like this is a bulletproof answer. Like, I have 3 devices that I could easily justify logging into right now. So what's the cap? Is the cap 1 device? Okay, well then I can't play on my phone because I have to play on computer to record, and it's also just better to fight on computer. So when I'm out and about, like I'm traveling or whatever, I can't play on my phone. Okay, so that kind of sucks, right? Like that, I'm just gonna miss out on war then because I'm visiting family for a holiday, or there's a birthday party or a wedding. I've been to 3 weddings this month. Okay, so like, okay, so let's say, all right, well, it's 2. So the device, let's make the device limit 2. Okay, so now I still can't use my tablet, by the way, but okay, so I can play on my phone and my computer. But actually, wait, what I'd rather do is just log in on my computer, and then the other device ID, I'm going to give that to my pilot. Ah, damn it, we didn't solve the problem, did we? All right, so any number above 1 as the device limit sucks because it literally does not solve the problem. All right, but 1 as a limit also sucks because then people can't play when they travel. And if you think about how many players would be affected by not being able to log in on a second device versus the number of players that are affected by being capped at 16 hours of straight fighting, you don't think the developers have looked into that? Really? Come on, man. They make millions and millions of dollars off this game. Like, let's be honest. And then what happens when I crack my phone and I need to get a new phone? Oh, that's a new device ID. Okay, so now it's like, oh, well, maybe there's a cooldown to switching. Okay, well, I dropped my phone twice this week. Now what? Right? Like, I got it wet once and now I lost it because someone stole it at a concert. Like, so, okay, I'll contact support, I guess, if I have to change my device IDs too frequently. Okay, so now we're flooding support with people lying about getting new phones. Do you see how dumb this solution is? Like, you can dismantle this so quick. And I'm not going to go any deeper than this, but you all know, if you're a high-end player, you know people who have reached out to support to unlink their account. You know why they did it. I know why they did it. Everyone knows it. And I think the developers don't want to end up in a situation where you're flooding support with people just lying about, oh yeah, I got, bro, you're not gonna believe it, bro. I know it's Kingsland, bro. I got a 4th phone, buddy. I can't, yo, I know, bro. You're not gonna believe it, dude. There was a storm and like a power surge, like lightning hit my apartment building, and like I fried my computer. I know. So basically you got to unlink my computer device ID. I got another computer. Yeah. Now look, I'm being facetious and I'm playing devil's advocate. Could we try a device system? Could we try it? Sure, we could totally try it. But I think I've kind of just explained how easy it would be to dismantle that whole system, right? Now, maybe we have it in conjunction with a longer war frenzy cap, like instead of 16 hours, it's 20 hours, and then you have a 2 or 3 device limit. Maybe, right? Maybe it's a component to the solution, but to just pretend like that's the actual answers, like, did you think about it for like more than 2 minutes? Like, okay, but here's another solution, right? IP address. Okay, I've heard people talk about this. I've also talked about this in my videos, to be completely fair with you guys. Okay, IP address tracking, that could be a solution. I've heard this. I think this is solid, but here's the thing. Is it possible that the developers of Rise of Kingdoms could track a player's IP address, and if it switches between countries too frequently within a certain period of time, then your account gets limited in some way? Is that possible? Yeah, I do think that is possible, but here's the thing. First of all, let's just be blunt here. That setting up a system like that that is just going to cost more money. Straight up, it's just going to cost more money. Okay, and then to maintain that, and people are going to try to get around it, they're going to learn the limits of the system, and they're going to try to circumvent it, and then they're going to have to tweak the system. And okay, let's pretend like money's not an issue though. Okay, because I hear what you're saying, Omniarch. How much they're spending on their systems is not a concern to me. I'm a customer. All I want is a good experience. Okay, fair enough. Let's assume that they're willing to spend infinite money developing this AI driven IP address tracker that has a algorithm that figures out, and like, look, it could be simple, right? It could be simple. Like, okay, if you log in from the United States today, and now I'm in New York City, you log in, and then in 2 hours I log in from Korea, but okay, clearly something's up there, right? Clearly I can't get to Korea in 2 hours. Like, it makes sense, right? Except for the fact that people use VPNs for a variety of different reasons. Some people work from their personal computer, and maybe they work for a company where you have to VPN connect somewhere else, so that way you have access to company files and you could do your job. And then at the end of the workday, oopsies, I forgot to turn off my VPN, and then I booted up Rise of Kingdoms, and GG, now you're banned, right? Like, and beyond that, right? Like, some countries, I'm pretty sure, you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, if you live in India, you can't even play Rise of Kingdoms without a VPN. Is that right? I'm pretty sure that's still the case. It used to be the case a few years ago. I don't think they've ever changed that. So certain countries literally can't even access the game without a VPN, and they might be connecting from different IP addresses all the time. And then there's people who literally just travel for work. Like, they actually just every day, like if you are a flight attendant or whatever, you're a traveling nurse, or you're like, there's so many jobs out there where you're not staying in the same IP address all the time, right? Now, again, are these fringe cases? Absolutely. But what are the odds that Rise of Kingdoms did the math and thought, okay, the number of people that would be affected by the IP address strategy is higher than the number of people affected by the 16-hour war frenzy cap? I mean, like, do you really think they didn't think about an IP address strategy? Like, it's classic backseat driving. What makes you think that they didn't think about that? Like, that was probably like one of the first things they've thought about. Are you kidding me? And again, you're gonna have the same thing happen where people are just reaching out to support that, yo, hey bro, you're not gonna believe it, I know I just told you I moved to Singapore, but I just moved again, bro. I just moved again to Japan. You're not, I know, it's crazy. 4th time this Kingsland. It's wild, right? Oh bro, no, did I say I moved to Japan? No, sorry, I meant that I had a VPN to Japan because I used to work there, and basically I had to connect, you know, it's because so basically today I actually have to connect to South Africa. I know, listen, hey, if you could just reset the IP limit on my account, you know what I mean? So again, I'm being facetious, but if you just think about these solutions that seem bulletproof, if you think about it for 2 seconds, you realize that it's going to cause way more headaches and fringe cases and people that have false positive flags on their account. And like, sure, should we try it? Totally, right? Should we try it? I'm down to try it, right? Again, I want to see the pilot problem solved, and none of these things are going to affect me, right? I play from the same few devices, I play from the same place, nobody else logs into my account, they've never logged into my account. I'm fine with that. Rise of Kingdoms could permaban everyone who's ever piloted, and I'd still be making content like ain't nothing happened, because I ain't never piloted, buddy. So again, should we try the IP address thing to solve the problem? Sure, I'm down to do that, but here's the caveat. Here's what I'm gonna say, okay? If we want to try the device ID limit thing, if we want to try the IP address limit thing, one of the requirements of these systems must be that support is 100% unable to circumvent the system. Otherwise, just don't even bother. It's completely pointless. Support's going to be overwhelmed with the requests, just like they've been overwhelmed with requests to unlink from email. Okay, you know who you are. So I'm down to try it, but remove support's ability to circumvent it. Otherwise, we're running circles. It's stupid. So going back to the 16-hour war frenzy cap, do I like this solution? I don't care, right? That's not going to affect me. Okay, and it's not going to affect most of you watching anyway. Even some of you that think it'll affect you, it actually won't. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know the right answer, but what I can do is look at all the other answers people are suggesting and being like, well, wait a minute, there's such obvious flaws with that. If all the answers have flaws, why don't we just assume the most logical thing, which is Rise of Kingdoms has the most skin in the game. They have the most to lose here. Okay, no matter how much your account is worth, Lilith and Lego Games are worth infinitely more than that. Okay, they have employees that they have to pay, marketing teams, game developers. Rise of Kingdoms has more skin in the game than anybody here. Okay, so I think it's reasonable and logical to assume that, one, whatever you put in my comment section, they've thought about it, I promise. And two, I think it's safe to trust that because they have the most to lose, they've chosen this strategy because it makes the most sense for the most number of people. And again, let me remind you guys, this is a pioneer test. Okay, there's no way we're gonna know for sure without at least testing it, right? Can we at least test it? Can we at least see what happens? If 16 is not enough, they bump it up to 18, right? Like, let's just see. But one thing is for certain, Rise of Kingdoms needs to kill the pilot problem. I think everyone who knows anything about the game knows that. Hi buddy, Theo came to say hi. Oh, you're just gonna sit? You're just gonna sit, right? Okay, got it. Oh yeah, just lay down on my keyboard. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, okay. Now look, do I like being told what I can and can't do? Do I like being told from a big gaming company that I can only get War Frenzy for 16 hours? It's my dang right, dang it, if I want to play for 36 hours straight and drink 19 Red Bulls and chain smoke the whole time while I'm doing it, that's my red-blooded American right, god damn it. I hear you. I totally get it, right? I totally get it. But here's the thing. I'm going to share with you guys a little bit of wisdom that I've gained from growing my second channel the past couple of months. All right. I have stuck my head outside of the Rise of Kingdoms bubble, and I've really genuinely tried to learn as much about the overall gaming community as possible. And I'm going to share with you guys a very humbling reality. Okay. Rise of Kingdoms, if it wants to continue to succeed as a game, if Rise of Kingdoms has any future at all, okay, there is no choice but for the game to be more casual friendly. That's it. I mean, open and shut case. Those of you that like to play 24, 36 hours straight, I know that this is going to be hard for you to hear, but Rise of Kingdoms, listen closely, come here, listen close. Rise of Kingdoms in its current competitive state does not have a future. I'm sorry. And I know that this feels weird because it's been like this for so long, but let's think about when Rise of Kingdoms got popular in the first place. Oh, that's right. It was when everyone was stuck inside for 2 years and they had nothing else to do and they were working from home, and so they could play the game 24 hours a day. Okay. The rest of the world has moved on, okay, and the rest of the gaming industry has moved on, but Rise of Kingdoms and its community, because we're in this little bubble and everyone spent a lot of time and money on the game, the meta here has stayed the same, and in fact it's gotten worse and worse and worse and worse and worse to the point where people are hiring individuals to play their account for them, right? Which is like, it's just so stupid. I'm sorry, it's so stupid. We need to rip the band-aid off. Rise of Kingdoms needs to evolve. It has no choice. The community and the expectations of the community has to change if we want there to be a future for Rise of Kingdoms. This is not my opinion, and I'm not even necessarily happy about it, but it's just the sobering reality. And this is what I meant earlier when I said it's cold water time. Wake up. New players are not going to spend 24 hours a day all the time playing this. They're just not gonna do it. The time commitment is very high. There are massive barriers to entry for Rise of Kingdoms as it is, and then on top of that we have to hire people to play. Bro, no, I'm sorry. Your average gamer cannot even comprehend that people like us play this game. Okay, I don't know if you realize that, but one thing is for certain: if Rise of Kingdoms is going to stay a healthy, fun, and competitive game, what we need is as many people joining the game and sticking around as possible to at least replace the number of people that inevitably leave, right? And I'm not saying people are leaving for this, that, or the other reason, although I've been told by dozens of people that piloting is a primary contributing factor and the culture around piloting is a primary contributing factor. My point is, everyone will have their own individual reason to stop playing any given game. It's not just Rise of Kingdoms. This is the case with World of Warcraft or whatever the case might be. People get married, people get new jobs, people have life-changing events, people get bored of the game, people have different commitments that they have. Like, there's so many reasons why that are just purely organic, normal reasons to stop playing a game that demands a lot of time out of you. Okay, so in that reality, okay, that is the case. What we need is for Rise of Kingdoms to appeal to as many people as possible, so that way when you see that crazy advertisement come across your Instagram feed and you download it, you discover a game that fits with your lifestyle. And right now the high-end meta of Rise of Kingdoms does not fit with almost anybody's lifestyle, and yet we have a small group of people who are saying we need the meta to stay such that I can play for 30 hours. It's like you are so far removed from what the game actually needs to stay healthy that if we cater to that demand, we're just crashing and burning, baby. That's pretty much it. I mean, am I going to be the one who has to say it? Like, really? Is I have to be the guy to say this? The game has to be more casual. We can cherish the hardcore moments that we've had over the last 7 years, and there's still going to be opportunities for more moments just like that. But if the game does not evolve to serve the modern gaming consumer in what they're looking for right now, there will not be a game than 7 years. Okay, and I'll be honest, it'll be quicker than that. So the fact that we're even having this discussion about, oh, I can't play my game for 16 hours, it's like there's like 10 other things wrong with that statement. Like what are we talking about? Thank God you can't play for more than 16 hours. Am I right? Like, it is part of my job to understand Rise of Kingdoms and make guides about the game and give you guys up-to-date information. But over the last few months, venturing out of the Rise of Kingdoms sphere and looking around the rest of the gaming landscape, I can tell you, if you told regular gamers what you have to do to be competitive in Rise of Kingdoms, they would call law enforcement and send you a wellness check. Do you understand? It's like psychotic psych ward behavior. Okay, and I'm guilty of it. I've played the game for 16 hours. Like, I'm being sympathetic with you guys because I'm part of the community. I do this. I love the game, right? If we could delete pilots without changing anything, then fantastic. I would still be there for all the openings for many hours, and that's fine. But it really, truly is in Rise of Kingdoms' best interest to be more casual friendly. It just is. So if you think that this change is going to kill the game, first of all, strongly disagree. Most people aren't even going to know it. But second of all, let's talk about the forbidden topic, shall we? Let's talk about the one thing that nobody ever wants to think about. One day, Rise of Kingdoms will not be online, okay? It could be in 3 years, it could be in 10 years, it could be in 25 years. Who knows? Hopefully it's as long as possible. But one day, the servers will be shut off for the final time. And guess what you're gonna have to show for it? Your memories, your community, your experiences, the joy and fun that you've had in the game. But one thing you won't have is your account. So the argument that this is gonna kill the game, it's like, piloting is already sending us in that direction, so let's just try something else. How about that? Like, can we at least try this for it's a pioneer test? Let's just try it for a little bit. Okay, anyway guys, rant over.